The Association of Rice Alumni presents the 2020-2021 Laureates Awards, recognizing Builders Awards recipients Victor Brooks Jr. and Ricky Mercado Jr. Honoring Meritorious Service Award recipients William Kennedy, Samuel Jones, Amy Sutton and Gary Childs, and Gloria Tarpley. Celebrating Distinguished Alumni Award recipients Finus Cowan Jr., Ralph Hawkins, Mariana Iskander, and Deepak Srivastava. Featuring gold medal honorees Gilbert Cuthbertson and Bobby Tudor, with remarks by Rice President David W. Leebron and a performance by the Callisto Quartet. And now, your hosts, Frank Jones and Michol Ecklund.
Good evening, and welcome to the 2020 to 2021 Laureates Awards celebration. My name is Michol McMillan Ecklund, class of 1997.
And I'm Frank Jones, class of 1963. As past presidents of the Association of Rice Alumni and co-chairs of Laureates, it is our sincere privilege to be hosting this special event. Thank you to ALs from all over the globe who are tuning in tonight to honor our outstanding Rice alumni and friends.
Now, I know most of you will recognize this scene behind us. We're pleased to be joining you from Rice's beautiful campus, which is certainly a home away from home for a lot of us. And thank you to everyone for bringing us inside your lovely homes for this very special occasion.
One day soon, we will be sharing laughs and hugs in person. But until then, we hope this celebration can remind all of us of just how wonderful our university is and how the Rice community continues to shape the world and make us proud.
Today, we will recognize 12 individuals representing a remarkable range of achievements and feats of service to the university, from a longtime professor whose generous spirit and vision for myth, power, and value touched so many, to a chairman of the Rice Board of Trustees who led the university to new levels of excellence, to scientific innovators, musical visionaries, social entrepreneurs, and more.
These individuals join a truly impressive group of distinguished alumni and friends. Since 1937, the Association of Rice Alumni Laureates Awards celebration has recognized those who have made exceptional contributions to our university, to their professions, and to the community beyond.
We value this tradition and are excited for the opportunity to bring together the Rice community to renew and celebrate the mission and values of our university by recognizing the efforts and impact of our honorees.
Tonight we will hear from all of our award winners, listen to an exclusive performance from the Shepherd School of Music, and be joined by our Rice President David W. Leebron for remarks.
First, we want to take a moment to acknowledge our Young Alumni Builders Award recipients, Victor Brooks Jr., class of 2009, and Ricky Mercado Jr., class of 2010. These young owls are helping build a stronger Rice community through their outstanding volunteer efforts.
Victor's volunteer service spans his Reunion Giving Committee, the Rice Alumni Volunteers for Admission, and Rice Alumni Pride. Ricky has served as a Jones College Associate, member of the Society of Latino Alumni of Rice, and dedicated mentor of students and alumni in the Latinx community. You can read a full list of their accomplishments on the Rice Alumni website.
Evening, Rice Owls. It's an honor to be selected as a recipient of the Builders Award.
I just want to say again how grateful I am for all of this. Thank you all so very much.
To Rice be true.
Thank you, Victor and Ricky, for all you have done and will continue to do for Rice. Now, we are honored to recognize our 2020 to 2021 Meritorious Service Award winners. The Meritorious Service Award is given to Rice alumni, faculty, staff, or friends who have enriched the Rice community through their ongoing dedication and support.
This year's Meritorious Award winners include a longtime architecture professor with a distinctive footprint on campus, a visionary founding dean of the Shepherd School of Music, an alumni couple that has demonstrated the deepest passion for service, and an extraordinary volunteer who, as our nominator put it, we wish we could clone. Collectively, they showcase unmatched loyalty and leadership, two qualities that have helped shape our Rice community into what it is today.
Congratulations to William T. Kennedy, Samuel L. Jones, Amy Sutton and Gary Childs, and Gloria Meckel Tarpley.
William Kennedy, an award-winning architect and professor emeritus in the Rice School of Architecture, has inspired generations of new builders, designers, and thinkers. For nearly 6 decades, Will has been devoted to advancing the university's architecture curriculum and expanding students' understanding of real-world practices. He also held joint teaching assignments in the schools of engineering and business and was a founding member of Rice Design Alliance. Emphasizing collaboration across disciplines, he brought architecture and business students together for a one-of-a-kind course, a sociological experiment of cats and dogs, as he describes, to expand their practical knowledge of commercial real estate and development. One nominator wrote, "I will say that I've rarely worked with a faculty member who so strives to improve his courses, who takes such an interest in his students, and who has so much energy." In 2019, Will sealed his already tremendous legacy when he made a generous lead gift to the construction of William T. Kennedy Hall to advance the Rice School of Architecture and, as he put it, to belong to something larger than myself. It is our distinct privilege to honor William Kennedy with the Meritorious Service Award.
My architectural education at 4 universities in Texas, California, Massachusetts, and England left me convinced that I wanted to emulate the careers of my distinguished teachers, some of the very best one could find in the world. That I would start teaching at Rice was not on my radar. When I moved to Houston in 1963, I interviewed at Rice and was told that there were no openings on the Rice School of Architecture faculty. A year later, the head of the school called and asked me, "Are you still interested?" I said, "Yes." He asked, "Can you start teaching next Monday?" I said, "Yes, of course." This was 57 years ago, and now I'm retired, but retirement looks different. I'm still on the faculty teaching in 2 schools, the Rice School of Architecture and the Jones School of Business. A few weeks from now, I will begin planning the course syllabus and schedule for the fall term. My teaching has always been accompanied by service to the Rice as a design architect on numerous campus buildings, on committees, especially the faculty council, the athletic committee, and the committee on transportation and parking. I have lunched at the faculty club since I started at Rice. Even with the virus containment policy on campus, we now have a small group of old professors who continue this today, and we're very likely to keep this tradition going for a very long time. One funny story, when I finished a major addition to the Cohen House, Russ Pittman, who was assistant to Dr. Hackerman, was our client's representative. My partner, Andy Todd, and I pointed out that to Russ that the original architect of the Cohen House had a plaque, a stone plaque with his image carved on it in the main interior space. We asked why Rice couldn't do the same for us. He agreed, and a sculptor was retained to do a sculpture of Andy and myself. When completed, Russ and Dr. Hackman selected a brick wall surrounding the trash cans, clearly visible on the sidewalk from Sewell Hall, a penalty for us going over the budget. Several decades later, Russ had us moved inside the Cohen House on an appropriate brick wall. My time at Rice has been rich and brought me meaningful relationships, both personal and professional, spanning almost 6 decades. I'm grateful for this great legacy, and I'm honored to get this award. I want to thank all of you who supported my nomination. Thank you.
As a founding dean of the Shepherd School of Music, Samuel Jones established a compelling vision for musical excellence at Rice, and his legacy echoes far and wide with the success of past, current, and future Rice musicians. During the school's humble beginnings, Samuel, an accomplished composer and conductor, crafted a guiding philosophy that would later solidify the unique culture of the Shepherd School. He ensured equal importance was placed on cultivating creative talent and on encouraging Rice's culture of curiosity, resulting in a first-of-its-kind experience that combined a conservatory curriculum with the liberal education of a leading research university. After leading the school as dean for 6 years, Samuel continued to serve as a professor and as director of graduate studies, influencing a new generation of successful conductors and composers. Thanks in large part to his leadership, inspired instruction, and accomplished artistry, the Shepherd School is now one of the most prestigious university-level programs in the country. As one nominator noted, our former students perform and teach in many of the world's finest ensembles and schools on 5 continents. The success of our graduates started with our founding dean, Samuel Jones. It is with great appreciation that we recognize Samuel L. Jones with the Meritorious Service Award.
Well, I'm deeply appreciative of this wonderful honor that Rice and all of you people have bestowed upon me. I, however, want to broaden it, not just for me, but to include everyone involved with the Shepherd School, particularly from those early years when we got it all going, back in 1975, I think the year was. But it was, at that point, Rice had no music, or no music school, had a little department. And now, of course, it has grown and bloomed into one of the great music schools of the country, and indeed the world. And it was such a joy to have a part in getting it all started. I was so pleased that I accepted President Hackerman's invitation. And the result has been really, for me, nothing short of magnificent. And from everything that I hear from colleagues and friends from all over the world, it has mattered elsewhere as well. There are lots of people who have been important to this. There was a group of 4 faculty members that helped me set up the original curriculum: Paul Cooper, Ann Schnabel, and Albert Tipton, and Ronald Patterson. And then others came aboard that were tremendously important: Art Gottschalk, Paul Ellison, Ray Flegel, oh bless Ray Flegel's heart, who did so much for music in Houston. And each dean who has followed me was the perfect, absolute perfect person for the job at that point. And the school has been blessed with a stellar faculty, still is, and gifted students from day one. And now, of course, they're populating, helping to populate orchestras and concert stages all over the country and the world. Sometimes students say to me, when they come back to the school, they see, particularly the ones who were there before the buildings were built, and they can't believe how wonderful the new buildings are. And I say to them, you contributed a line of those bricks, and the school wouldn't be what it is without your accomplishments and your seriousness and your great talent. So a wonderful journey. And the honor that goes to me today doesn't go just to me, it goes to all of us.
Known for their unmatched loyalty and tireless support of the university, Amy Sutton and Gary Childs have defined a new standard for Rice volunteers. Amy and Gary met while they were members of Weiss College, and their love for Rice only continued to deepen as they became more involved with the university. Their significant, sustained contributions span academics, athletics, executive leadership, and fundraising. As a nominator put it, the range of their activities and interests at Rice is breathtaking. Gary, who is the current president of the Rice Owl Club, has served as past president of the Friends of Fondren Library Board of Directors and chair of the Rice Annual Fund Steering Committee. Amy, who currently sits on the Rice 360 Institute for Global Health Advisory Board, served on the Rice Board of Trustees from 2014 to 2018 and now adds her insight as a trustee emerita. Both Gary and Amy were dedicated members of the Association of Rice Alumni Board, where their keen intellect and devotion to service strengthened the connections between the broader alumni community, the university, and its students. One nominator described Amy and Gary as a quintessential Rice couple and exemplars of true blue and gray Rice Owl volunteers and community citizens. Tonight, we proudly present the Meritorious Service Award to Amy Sutton and Gary Childs.
Thank you to the Association of Rice Alumni and our nominators for this Meritorious Service Award. Rice means a lot to us, so we are honored to receive this award. Gary's been recognized by a couple of nonprofit theater companies he works with, and so he has graciously ceded his speaking time to me. We had a wonderful time as students at Rice. After graduation, for the next 12 years, I lived in various cities across the country, and some of those years I was only able to make it back to Rice for homecoming. But during those years, I often reminisced that my time at Rice was the best time of my life so far, in large part because of all the lifelong friends that I made there. Since moving back to Houston in 2002 and running into Gary at a Rice event, and then being able to be more engaged with Rice on an ongoing basis, the present became the best part of my life so far. Rice is a big part of our social calendar. And while we are honored to be recognized by Rice for our service, we feel that Rice has given us way more than we have given. This has been a crazy few months. The last week of February 2020, I spent 7 days straight on campus in one capacity or another. And then the next week, we spent the day watching the Rice women's basketball team win the conference championship. And while at that time were some elbow bumps already, there were plenty of high fives. And that was the last time we stepped on Rice campus. Getting all dressed up in black tie for this video is bittersweet. Normally when we get all dressed up, we're going to be spending our time with friends. Normally for this event, we would have reserved a couple of tables and invited many of our friends who don't regularly attend this event to share the evening with us and for the dinner. And then we would have enjoyed seeing all of our Rice friends who, like us, regularly attend this event. But while we're disappointed that we didn't get to spend this evening with anyone in person, we look forward to seeing everyone back on Rice campus very soon, perhaps at a football game in September, and certainly at this event in the future. Thank you again for all that Rice has given us.
A world-class volunteer, Gloria Michol Ecklund has played a key role in fostering connections throughout Rice's broader alumni community. As a Rice student, Gloria was a member of Brown College and double majored in managerial studies and political science. As much as she excelled in her studies, she contributed significant time and energy to serve her peers, sparking a long and remarkable commitment to the university. Gloria's exemplary service and contributions as an alumna span the university, from the School of Humanities to the Rice Annual Fund to parent and alumni groups. She previously served as president of the Dallas Alumni Regional Group, one of the most active alumni groups outside of Houston, and as president of the Association of Rice Alumni. A former alumni trustee and current member of the Rice Board of Trustees, Gloria brings invaluable insight and direction to every conversation she is part of. As one nominator noted, many alumni volunteer for Rice, but few do so with the never-ending passion and energy that Gloria has given to our alma mater over the past many years. With immense pride, we recognize Gloria Michol Ecklund with the Meritorious Service Award.
Good evening. First of all, to the ARA, thank you so very, very much, not only for this wonderful honor, but for the endless opportunities for engagement and enjoyment that you have offered me for so many years. It has truly enriched my life immeasurably. The friends and experiences I have so cherished over the years of involvement with the ARA have provided me much happiness, and I really feel very disingenuous receiving an award for having been given so many opportunities that brought joy to my life. I had no idea when I started to get involved as an alum, both in Dallas and in Houston, how many dear friends I would make through the ARA and how many generations of alums these friendships would span. Common to all of these witty, quirky, amazingly bright, and truly remarkable fellow alums I'm proud to call my friends is our love for our magnificent institution, Rice. Through all my time as an undergraduate, I felt incredibly lucky to be a student at a place that set such high standards of excellence. Academics, the honor code, and the very extraordinary schoolmates and faculty that I met, many of whom are close friends to this day. Did I mention it was really, really, really fun? Through volunteering with Rice as an alum, I discovered so many more dimensions to the Rice experience: lifelong education, shared alumni activities, unforgettable travel, and the deepening of friendships from each of these. Again, did I mention the fun? I've been so very grateful for the privilege of serving on the ARA board and then as its president in the run-up to the centennial year, and now the honor of my life, serving on the Rice Board of Trustees. I should not be getting an award. I should be thanking Rice for how much it has given me. I'm so grateful to my lovely husband, George, for always joining wholeheartedly into Rice activities and adventures, uncomplainingly and with seeming enjoyment. He's really become an owl at heart. This award really should include him. It would go very nicely with his 57 owl lapel pins. You know, this all came about despite my best efforts not to go to Rice as a freshman. I grew up in Mexico City, and I had every intention of going straight into law school in Mexico right after high school, which is the normal path there. My dad, however, insisted that I attend college in the US, followed by law school up here. Should I so desire, he noted, I could then return to work and live in Mexico. And so I came to Rice under protest, but only after extracting a promise from both my parents that I could return to Mexico and enroll in law school by Christmas if I was still miserable at Rice after one semester, which I certainly knew I would be. We all know how that turned out. My parents hated to send me away from home. In Mexico, children live at home through their college years, but through earlier trips to Houston, they had already become enamored of Rice, and they knew how perfect it would be for me. They were so right, and I owe all this lifetime of loving Rice and its people to them. Sadly, I lost them both in recent years. I know they would have loved seeing me get this award. I thank them both from the bottom of my heart, and I thank you, Rice, for giving me so much joy and fulfillment in my life. I look forward to so much more in the years to come. Thank you.
This magnificent sally port behind us represents an important milestone for our newest alumni. During commencement, when graduating classes walk through this corridor, it is a symbolic entry point into their lives as alums, signaling that they are ready to make a mark on the world.
Our Distinguished Alumni Award winners are doing just that, making their mark on the world, leading by example and paving the way for a better tomorrow. The Distinguished Alumni Award recognizes Rice alumni who have demonstrated skillful expertise, great dedication, and unparalleled passion for the advancement of their professions and communities.
This year's distinguished alumni include a lawyer's lawyer, known for his commitment to clients, a pioneer in healthcare architecture, a global expert in social entrepreneurship, and a trailblazer in biomedical science, solving pressing heart problems. These graduates are changing the world as we know it. We are pleased to recognize Finus Cowan Jr., Ralph Hawkins, Mariana Iskander, and Deepak Srivastava with the Distinguished Alumni Award.
Through an illustrious law career and a remarkable reputation, Finis E. Cowan Jr. has exemplified the guiding values of Rice University: responsibility, integrity, community, and excellence. A member of Sid Richardson College, Finis graduated from Rice and attended the University of Texas School of Law before serving in the U.S. Marine Corps. After his service, he joined the international law firm Baker Botts, where he would later become senior partner. It was there that his genius for litigation, combined with a gentleness not often found in the industry, flourished and made him a well-respected force among his peers. Described by one nominator as a kind man of even temperament and a man of iron will and determination, Finis was nominated in 1977 by President Jimmy Carter to serve as a federal district judge. He resided in this highly coveted seat for 2 years before returning to work in private practice. One nominator noted, "Perhaps most fitting is how judges and lawyers at courthouses around the country will respond when asked about Finis Cowan. They will say, 'Finis Cowan is a great lawyer and a great man.'" Today, we are honored to present the Distinguished Alumni Award to Finis E. Cowan, Jr.
The answer to 2 questions illuminate my gratitude for participation in the Distinguished Alumni Award. The questions are: 1, how has Rice impacted my life? 2, what are my hopes for the future of Rice? My parents somehow inspired me and my younger sister Alice, Rice class of 1958, a strong compulsion to do our best. But that foundation was inspired by the attitude and culture and skill predominant in the Rice faculty and administration, the student body. What are my hopes for the future of Rice? In a phrase, quote, "stay the course," close quote. The changes and growth that the class of 1951 has seen are truly astounding. But as I see it, the process of orderly, well thought out, and fully discussed changes has worked wonderfully well and has moved Rice into the modern age with grace and precision. The more we can say to Rice leaders is, quote, "keep up the good work," close quote. Thank you very much.
An enterprising leader and social entrepreneur, Mariana Exlander has founded her career on the principle of serving others. Her commitment to driving impactful change began when she served as a 2-term president of the Rice Student Association. The lessons she learned and passions she developed as a student have continued to propel her forward in her exceptional career, where she served in a number of strategic roles, including advisor to Rice University President David W. Leebron and Chief Operating Officer of Planned Parenthood. Mariana now lives and works in South Africa as the Chief Executive Officer of Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator, a pioneering effort to address youth unemployment in Africa and around the world. Under her leadership, the organization has supported 750,000 young people and is continuously recognized for its global impact. In 2019, Iskander received the highly prestigious Skoll Award for Social Entrepreneurship. As one nominator described, being a successful social entrepreneur takes grit, selflessness, and vision. Mariana possesses all of these qualities in spades. It is our honor to recognize Mariana F. Iskander with the Distinguished Alumni Award.
Thank you so much to the Association of Rice Alumni for this recognition and award. Rice took a chance on me, not just once, but twice. First, as a student in 1993, when I arrived on campus and within 2 days had invited then President Malcolm Gillis to a totally impromptu dinner with my orientation week group. They literally couldn't believe it when he showed up in the old Weiss Commons. And that's where my adventures at Rice began. There are too many staff, faculty, and even fellow students to acknowledge for taking one chance after another on me. Looking back now, what they really taught me was to always take a chance on others and to lift up those around me as I progressed in my own life and career. I probably learned this most deeply from my mentor, Chandler Davidson, who many of you know after a lifetime at Rice passed away last month, right before we were planning to see each other in Houston for the first time in many years. As I started my professional career after law school, Rice took another chance on me. This time it was President David Leebron who trusted me to support this community in shaping its vision for the second century. I returned in 2004 to a campus full of old friends and made many new ones. In March last year, I got a call from Michol about this award. I immediately went online and booked a plane ticket from my home in Johannesburg, South Africa for the ceremony. But the pandemic obviously had other plans for all of us. So this year we gather in this virtual ceremony with the entire worldwide Rice community. I want to say that when people take a chance on you, you simply want to make them proud. And I hope that I've done that, not just for Chandler, but for my friends Mary Lee Burris, Sydney Burris, Courtney Hall, and the many others who have passed before we were ready for them to go. And especially to thank those of you here for what you've done to teach me to lift up others. I thank you.
Through his dynamic leadership and exemplary vision, Ralph Hawkins, a luminary in the field of healthcare architecture, has improved the design and development of hospitals and medical facilities around the globe. Combining a Master of Architecture degree from Rice University and a Master of Public Health from the University of Texas School of Public Health, Ralph was poised to make a difference in his dream career. He joined the firm at HKS Architects in 1980 and subsequently built its healthcare group into one of the largest practices in the nation. At HKS, he climbed the ranks from director to chief executive officer and chairman of the board, bringing international recognition and outstanding direction to the firm that launched his career. Ralph also dedicated significant time to mentoring generations of architects and design professionals, while advancing the profession of healthcare architecture nationally and internationally. One nominator stated, "His list of accolades, awards, and recognition goes on for pages. But what is most significant is the enduring, consistent, selfless time and effort he has given back to the profession and his alma mater, Rice University." It is with great pride that we honor Ralph Hawkins with the Distinguished Alumni Award.
It is, of course, an honor to receive this award alongside the other distinguished alumni as chosen by those representing the Laureates Awards program. My experience at Rice was wonderful. I met such talented students and faculty. Many remain friends today. I remember my attendance to the first design studio in the School of Architecture in 1974. The design studio is always the toughest class that you take, and you spend many hours preparing your projects. A young Japanese student came in who was also a Fulbright scholar, and he came with a bag of groceries and a sleeping mat. He was well prepared for the studio. The studio was a young instructor, Peter Rowe, and he later became the Dean of Harvard Graduate School of Design. This is and was an example of how talented and excellent both the students and faculty are at Rice University. Although demanding, we all experienced a great education. It prepared me for my 48-year career in architecture. I remember my class fondly. Many went on to architectural careers. Some are now past. I think of them often. It was an honor to have spent that part of my life with the students and faculty. They were inspirational and a joy to have learned architecture. After I graduated and began my practice, I was forever thankful to Rice University. I was so proud to have been a Rice graduate, but felt more so that it was good to give back of both my time and treasure. I was eventually asked to serve in an advisory capacity for the curriculum through serving the William Ward Watkins Council, along with other distinguished members. It has been rewarding to give both personal donations along with my legacy gift to continue my interest in providing continued excellence in education at Rice University. Thank you for this distinguished award. I'm humbled and sincerely honored in receiving it. Thank you.
Dr. Deepak Srivastava has conducted industry-changing research and discovered life-saving solutions as a leader in cardiovascular developmental biology. Deepak has demonstrated an extraordinary commitment to improving lives through teaching, clinical care, leadership, and groundbreaking research on congenital heart disease. His numerous discoveries include identifying several genes and mechanisms that guide the development of the heart, demonstrating how a few specific genes can generate new cardiac cells to repair heart damage, and developing other novel therapeutic approaches to heart disease. He founded 2 biotechnology companies to translate his research into practical applications and therapies. Currently, Deepak serves as president of the Gladstone Institutes, director of the Roddenberry Stem Cell Center, and professor of pediatrics at the University of California, San Francisco. One nominator noted, throughout his career, Srivastava has repeatedly demonstrated an ability to make important discoveries of fundamental mechanisms of developmental biology and to connect them to human disease. Another nominator described Deepak as a scientific visionary, internationally renowned clinician scientist, an inspiring academic leader who has upheld the highest of ethical values. With great pride, we present the Distinguished Alumni Award to Deepak Srivastava.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled to receive this award today. 35 years ago, as I walked across the stage to receive my Rice diploma, I never imagined I would be here today in this position. What I did know even then, however, is that while at Rice, I got a foundation to think critically, work hard, be creative, and have a lot of fun along the way. And it was at Rice where I developed a deep belief that I really needed to make a dent in this world somehow. And for that, I will always be grateful to Rice. In addition to the great teachers that I had at Rice, I was heavily influenced by the great classmates that I had at Rice. And really, it was the late night discussions and deep friendships that I think in large part shaped me as an adult for the rest of my life. And so I'm very happy that many of those friends are here celebrating with us today. I'd also like to thank my scientific mentors, Dr. Brad Thompson, who himself was a distinguished alumnus of Rice from the class of 1955, and Dr. Eric Olson, who remains a very close friend and colleague for the last 25 years now. They both taught me how to be not just a great scientist, but also to be a good mentor. And I've tried to do that over the years with my own trainees, both physicians and scientists who've come through my laboratory. And it's really their creative work that is the reason that I'm here in front of you today. And those trainees came both at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, where I started my career, and at the Gladstone Institutes and University of California, San Francisco, where I've been for the last 16 years. I'm also grateful to my parents who inspired me and really inspired my drive in education, as my mother was a school teacher and my father was a scientist as well. And they both have had a huge impact on shaping who I am today in almost every respect. I'm also thankful to my older sisters, Sangeeta and Amita, who are both also Rice graduates. And in fact, we all got to overlap for 1 year at Rice, which was a tremendous amount of fun. And most importantly, I want to thank my lovely wife, Denise, who's been with me on this fabulous journey for the last 30 years. And she's been a great partner with me in every way, including raising our 3 awesome teenagers, Claire, Dylan, and Sydney, who each have grown up to be kind and compassionate individuals. And we know that they are going to have their own impact on the world in the years ahead. I'm so proud to be part of the Rice University family, and thank you so much for this award today.
Congratulations to our distinguished alumni. Now, we're privileged to present the highest honor bestowed by the Association of Rice Alumni, the Gold Medal Award. This distinction recognizes members of the Rice community who have displayed outstanding service, deep dedication, and uncommon generosity in support of our university.
Myth, power, value. These three words are instantly recognizable to so many alumni, students, and faculty, and they capture the ethos and passion of our first gold medal recipient, Gilbert Cuthbertson, affectionately known to students and friends as Doc C. Although Dr. Cuthbertson passed away in 2019, his impact on Rice, and indeed on countless alumni, will long endure. A political science professor and well-loved resident associate of Will Rice College for nearly 60 years, he mentored many young owls, played countless games of bridge and foosball, and shared nightly meals with Will Ricers. This campus was his home, his career, and his passion. Tonight, we present the Gold Medal Award posthumously to Gilbert C. Cuthbertson.
Doc was like Peter Pan. He was the boy who never grew up. He was at Will Rice College more than 50 years. He was always at the foosball table, and he was a bit of a pool shark as well.
He was frequently seen with several philosophy undergraduates following behind because he was revered.
When he got to know students, it wasn't just as a student, right? He really got to know them as people. He followed them through their lives. He let them know him as a person. He really built a family.
I was his first graduate student, and I think Cuthbertson was different. He brought something that Rice had not heretofore had, a philosophical look at political and social philosophy.
And Doc C was much more interested in the stories and the narratives that fuel political science.
And it's part of the identity of 50 plus years of political science alums. If you say myth, power, value, they have a connection with each other right away.
This is a myth, power, value anecdote. There was a near confrontation between the Corps of Cadets and the Rice student body out at Rice Stadium. Now, very frankly, NM, which is a fine institution in itself, embodies power of a more forceful sort. So how do you handle this situation? What's the Rice solution? Well, the mob struck up the Star-Spangled Banner. The patriotic Aggie cadets snapped to attention, and the Rice students ran back up into the stands to complete safety.
There are not many professors who generate t-shirt sales, but Doc C was one, right?
There's a myth, power, value in myth, power, value itself. The fact that his ideas stuck with so many of us for so many years is a real testament to his lasting impression.
The Office, of course, is just as legendary as he was.
I mean, there was books as far as the eye could see. And the whole time you're in the office, you're afraid of an avalanche.
Like Dante says, all you who enter, abandon hope.
And he never would use email.
You actually had to email the secretary at Will Rice College if you needed to get in touch with him, and she would relay the message.
What I learned from Doc C is how privileged I am to share a classroom with Rice students, and also how deep and lasting the teacher-student connection can be. You know, he would look at Rice students and he would see what they could be. And he followed them through their lives.
You know, I always tell people when people ask me, did Doc have any children? I said, yes, Doc has thousands of children. Because to him, the university was his family, and all of us as students were his kids.
I'm proud of all my students. Rice students and Rice alumni have been eminently successful in a large number of fields. We are a small school, sir, but there are those of us who love it.
On behalf of Doc, thank you so much for this award. It means a lot. I'm literally one student out of thousands that he taught and thousands of impressions that he left on all of us. He certainly changed my life for the better, and I know I can speak on behalf of the student body. He changed the Will Rice students and the university students in aggregate for the better. And so it's a great honor. It's very humbling to accept this award on Doc's behalf. I just want to say thank you so much to the university and thank you to the alumni of the university.
We're standing outside of Tudor Fieldhouse, named in honor of our next Gold Medal Award winner, Bobby Tudor, and his wife, Phoebe. Before Bobby became renowned in investment banking, civic engagement, and philanthropy, he showcased his remarkable leadership qualities in this arena as captain of the Rice basketball team. As an alumnus, Bobby has continued to exemplify an extraordinary dedication to service, utilizing his keen intellect, immense knowledge of Rice, and passion for the broader Houston community to advance Rice's excellence. He served on Rice's Board of Trustees for more than a decade, including as chairman of the board from 2013 to 2020. He co-chaired the university's successful $1 billion Centennial Campaign, the largest and most comprehensive fundraising effort in the university's history. And along with his wife, Phoebe, he has provided sustained support to multiple priorities across campus, from the humanities and the arts to Rice Athletics and the Baker Institute. As one nominator put it, he is truly an example of what we hope our graduates will be. Tonight, we are honored to present Bobby with our highest distinction, the Gold Medal Award.
Bobby was a highly recruited basketball player, and he was a starter on the basketball team from day one as a freshman.
Bobby is a great student athlete.
You couldn't imagine a better representative for Rice athletics than Bobby Tudor.
He went to Tulane Law School and was hired directly at Goldman Sachs. And after that, he started his own firm.
Everything he touches seems to turn to gold.
And there's so many different ways he has touched the school.
He's been involved with athletics. He was the main contributor and supporter of remodeling the old Autry Court into Tudor Fieldhouse. He's been involved with the Owl Club, helping the United Way at Rice raise money. He's been involved with the Shepherd School of Music, been on the Board of Humanities. He has been a mentor out to students.
He also chaired, along with Susie Glasscock, the Centennial fundraising campaign.
$1 billion for a university that had less than 50,000 living alumni. It was pretty audacious.
And he's the kind of guy, when he says he'll get something done, he will do what he says.
So he showed his commitment to the campaign personally, he and Phoebe, and he had the contacts and ability to call other people to join. I think without his work on the campaign, you wouldn't see the structure that we have now for scholarships. You wouldn't see new buildings, new programs, and I think that he has his stamp on the university forever.
He was especially thrilled to be the chairman of the board.
If you look at all the university accomplished during that time in so many different areas, from the Rice investment, or the ION, the Welch Institute, the transformative construction completed and still envisioned on our campus in the next few years, Bobby was a leader in every aspect of what we did.
I can't imagine anyone else who has devoted so much of their heart and soul, personal time, and resources to Rice University.
Bobby is a perfect example of someone who has given their time, their talent, and their treasure in support of something they truly believe in.
I came to really think of Bobby as the true exemplar of what we want a Rice graduate to be.
He has taken his responsibility to give back to Rice so seriously, and his heart really is in his Rice affiliations. It's a lot of how he identifies himself, and he's so proud of that.
It is a profound pleasure and an honor for me to accept this Gold Medal Award from the ARA. When I look at the list of the award's previous recipients, including my co-recipient this year, Gilbert Cuthbertson, I feel humbled to be mentioned in the same breath as that group. All of them have given a lifetime of distinctive service to Rice. I ended up at Rice because in the summer of 1977, the Rice basketball coach watched me play at a summer camp in Pennsylvania and decided he wanted me on his team. The academic prestige of Rice was well known to me and my parents, and I decided to come from Louisiana to Houston to have a look. And I liked what I saw. It was simply just what I was looking for: serious, ambitious, focused on quality teaching, diverse in its offerings and areas of excellence, beautifully designed and maintained, and highly personal in its approach. I knew I would be challenged and broadened, and that the people in charge of my experience were motivated to see me do well. There were players on the team unlike players I met at other places. They were smart, driven, and ambitious people who were serious about school and serious about their sport. I wanted to be like them. My experience as a student and as a graduate turned out to be everything I could have hoped for and more. I owe Rice so much. It has truly impacted my life in most every positive way imaginable, and I've always felt a duty to do my part in helping Rice continue to flourish and to influence the lives of more young people in the way it has influenced me. I'm extraordinarily grateful to Rice for what it has done for me and for the world, and to the ARA for honoring me in this way. I will never forget it. Thank you.
Good evening. What an extraordinary group of people we have honored today. I want to begin by thanking Michol Ecklund and Frank Jones for hosting this celebration and for their service as chairs of the Laureates Committee. And I also want to thank Brian Hassan for his energetic and thoughtful leadership of the Association of Rice Alumni. The Laureates celebration is traditionally held the same day as commencement, linking the achievements of our youngest alumni with some of our most accomplished and celebrated graduates and friends. We can see how the promise of today becomes the accomplishment and contribution of tomorrow. Established 84 years ago, the Association of Rice Alumni Laureates Awards program recognizes the contributions and accomplishments of outstanding Rice alumni and friends of the university. A committee of alumni, past recipients, and other university representatives annually recommends the honorees to the Alumni Board for approval. Of course, this past year has been like no other in our history. Indeed, it has been a time for us to realize more than ever how important the contributions of every kind to the success of our university are, and how extraordinary the contributions of our graduates are to our world, including, for example, the vaccines that are now protecting us from COVID-19. Even while dealing with a pandemic, this year has been a success on almost every front for our university, from record applications, extraordinary success in research and research funding, exciting new building plans, and the generosity of our alumni and friends that supports our key overarching goals of excellence, opportunity, and impact. We have come through this year not only with success in continuing to provide great opportunity to our students and remarkable contributions to our world, but reasons for optimism about what we can continue to achieve far into the future. We owe our thanks to the honorees of tonight and also to many thousands of others for this. We look forward to being together in person, and we will be soon. Even with these challenges of the past year, it is therefore important to celebrate and honor this year's extraordinary laureates. I want to congratulate again all the honorees and thank you all for attending this virtual laureates celebration. It's now my great pleasure to introduce a concluding special performance by the Shepherd School of Music's Callisto Quartet.
Hello. Hello, we are the Callisto Quartet, and we will be playing for you the first movement of Haydn's String Quartet, Opus 76, number 4, nicknamed Sunrise.
This string quartet is one of Haydn's most well-known and most beloved string quartets. It derives its nickname, the Sunrise Quartet, from the cadenza in the first violin part, right at the beginning, which many people think evokes a sunrise. It's one of our favorite pieces, and we hope you enjoy it as much as we do.
In closing, we want to thank President Leebron for his fine remarks, the members of the Laureates Selection Committee for their efforts to continue this Rice tradition, and especially all of our extraordinary award winners.
Please join us in raising your glass. Let's toast our laureates for their significant accomplishments. Let's also raise a toast to our university for providing us inspired education. And last but not least, let's toast you. Whether you're a Rice graduate, parent, or friend, you are a big reason why our community is so remarkable. Thank you, all of you. Good night.